Hey y'all, we are in full-fledged spring. All right. It's here. The button has been pressed. Those things that we worked on in the last phase are now manifesting. Those flowers are starting to open. Certain seeds are starting to sprout. Everything that we worked so hard in the winter, all those dreams we dreamt in the winter, we get to see what comes of it now as we move into spring and summer. And like I said in the other video, we're only in sort of the beginning of spring. Like the button has been pushed. This is the cardinal season. There's three phases to each season. So, we'll be doing one of these readings for each cardinal, the cardinal, fixed, mutable, each part of the season, which means there'll be 12 readings for the year as we get into each zodiac sign. So let's see what's going on with our springtime energy. Where does it need to be directed in general? And how can we maximize the effectiveness of those plants we have growing in our pots? That's the question. How do we maximize them? Because it's one thing for something to grow, but it's something else if you have a plan for how that thing's going to grow, right? And the first card that's popping up is Five of Fire. You see that there? That Five of Fire is just kind of talking about where we've been. And it's showing a lot of scattered energy. Some of us have had a lot of scattered energy. Even those of us who aren't scattered have been feeling scattered, if that makes sense. Some people are able to really stay on task. But even those people on task are feeling the pull to be in multiple places at once. This card also could talk about fights, So some of us may be angry. Some of us may have been put in situations we didn't want to be in, but you had to choose a side or pick a fight. And that's the energy, man. That's the energy that's been around. There's been a lot of crazy things happening. Things are being unveiled every day. And it's just where we've been. This card is also called Saturn in Leo. So Saturn is restrictive, right? In medical astrology, anywhere Saturn is or manifests in the body, because remember, your body is the chart as well, presents an area of extreme coldness. And not just an area of extreme coldness, but an area of weakness as well. And so we have cold, constrictive, we have weak. Then we have Leo, right, which is the opposite energy. Leo governs the heart. Leo wants to pump, 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 and express and emote and perform. But there's something about that Saturnian energy which is trying to block that heart in. And so there's a conflict of opposites happening. So there's internal struggles happening, right? The relationship card that we're pulling up right now is this guy here. The Eight of Earth. We're supposed to be building with our partners right now. We're supposed to be building. And it's funny because my partner's calling me right now, live on this reading. I'm talking to my wife. Hey, honey, how are you doing?
Hi, what's that?
Hi, I'm just doing. I'm doing a reading right now.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. So anyway, the party don't stop. But anyway, I just like the timing of those kinds of things. That's really awesome. So yeah, we have Eight of Earth, right? Eight of Earth. Eight of Earth is talking about, it's interesting because it's talking about the sun in Virgo, right? What's the opposite of Virgo? The opposite of Virgo is Pisces. Pisces is the dream. Pisces is the open-minded, kind of explorer of possibilities. Pisces loves the realm of just what ifs, what if, what if. Well, Virgo's on the other side of the spectrum. Virgo's like, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what it's gonna be. This is the pattern. I don't want to dream no more. I want to create. The dream was already done. Now it's time for details. It's time to deal with the devil in these details. And it's time to move brick by brick, right? So we have Sun in Virgo, right? So the sun in Virgo is really shining light because the sun shines light on things, right? So it shines light on kind of organizing that energy with your mate and saying, yo, how can we increase the effectiveness of where we want to go through patterns, through planning, and through observation. So it's a very down-to-earth time. And so it'd be a great time to take a class together or to sit down and start having meetings weekly, pull your notes together and say, hey, how can I help you with this? I want to help you here. How can we create a container to where our goals, how we can not work against each other's goals, because you might love somebody a ton, right? But that doesn't mean they're not keeping you off track. So, all right. Oh, shoot. So as far as our creative projects, we're getting this Page of Earth card here. Pages are very immature. Pages are very young-minded. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. This card is saying to flirt with where you want, how you can grow some of these things you want to do, with more focus on, basically, are there areas that you could pay somebody to help you? That Page of Earth energy, once again, needs a lot of support, right? So pulling back and not trying to do everything is important when you get the Page card. The Page is not the action card. The Page is like, sit back. Maybe you don't know it all. Maybe you need help in this area. Who to ask, right? So as far as your creative projects, be very clear that maybe mentorship is important right now. And if not, stay in sort of an open-hearted sort of way around your creative projects and how they're going to manifest. This card also talks about don't marry the outcome, right? You plant a seed, it doesn't mean it's going to come exactly out the way that you thought, and it's telling you to also be okay with it, okay? So that was kind of a multi-layered description there, but part of this is also about letting go of your own control of it. That's what we call in a mentor, or that's why we call in surrender, around these creative projects. The next card we got for our jobs, the way we make money is Leo, strength. This card's interesting because it's telling you to stand in your integrity. Stand in your integrity. It's okay. You can be yourself and get your needs met. It's okay for you to stand in your integrity and make sure your heart is aligned with your money. Leo is supporting you in that. But it also connotes that you might have to be a little more performative. You might have to make your face more known. You might have to show up more spaces. You might have to emote more tell people how this project feels to you, or how, and if it's not a project you're working on, if it's someone else's project, either way, making sure you're finding ways to, whether it's someone else's project, your project, whether you love your job or not, it's telling you to still find a way to pour your heart into it, right? Because it's going to make the product better, and it's going to make everyone around you better to have someone who cares. We're not always in jobs we want, but it's telling you to lead from where you're at, right? Show people that joy comes from within. All right. So Leo energy, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's our first major arcana, is in how we're making money, making sure how you're making money is in alignment with your heart. And that, yeah, you're exhibiting that strength. Oh boy, this is huge. Oh, ouch. Ouch. Hey y'all, that's a huge warning. This tower, massive warning, y'all. Do not act on this. Okay, there's going to be an opportunity for us to blow up everything we've worked for this season. Don't blow it up, y'all. It's not worth it. Watch your tongue. Watch your tongue. This card is saying the biggest threat we have to us getting where we want to go this season, this Aries season. Aries is all about explosions and fire and gusts of energy. But watch out. This is a warning. This is a huge warning. Massive warning. I'm glad we did this, man. I wasn't gonna do this one today, but I'm glad we did it because this is massive. This warning almost wants me to tell you that anger is a poison this season. It warns that not only will anger eat you up on the inside, but that it will infiltrate your relationship, it will infiltrate your friendships, it will infiltrate your families, and ultimately you could put yourself in a position where you could say something or do something through anger that will explode the thing you want the most. This Mars energy we got to stay away from. We have to, this season, the reason we have to stay away from it, because Mars energy is necessary sometimes. But this energy right here, this tower energy is in the wrong spot. Do not think 3 times before you speak, y'all. Carry quartz in your hand if that helps. Keep water poured around the house. Keep a mantra going in your head. Make sure you're taking your magnesium. Make sure you're drinking tea. Make sure that if you know something could be potential harmful subject, call a friend first and get it out. Call a friend first and get it out. I call it a muck partner. It's something I talk about in my book. A muck partner is someone that you trust, that you can say irrational, emotional things to. This isn't your partner necessarily. It could be, but I'm talking just an old friend where you can just curse and say everything you want to say, blah, 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 and I wish they would die, and da-da-da-da. And then your friend could say, okay, now that you got that part out, what are we going to do? Now that you processed it, da-da-da-da, how would you feel if someone had said that to you? You got to put yourself in other people's shoes this season. And Aries doesn't like to do that, y'all. All right. This has me looking at our chart, y'all. I kind of want to see what's going on in the chart for now. Why are things so hot? Oh, boom. There it is. Mars is in Cancer, being squared by Scorpio in the 5th house. That means Mars is extremely hot. There's little fights. They're just little things brimming at the surface, but there's big things underneath them, y'all. Mars in Cancer is war in the household. If you are a hot-headed individual, you gotta really be honest with yourself. And if you even have to go take a walk, if you need to go somewhere and pray, you got to do what you got to do. But your explosiveness is dangerous in this season. With the Scorpio energy, with the what they call the black moon squaring Mars. Listen to this. Mars is in Cancer, which represents the home. Right? In the second house, which represents your possessions. Okay? Do not let anger, resentment, it's not worth it. It will feel like it's worth it. That's why the warning's here. It's not worth it. All right, y'all. Stay away from anger as much as possible this season. Huge warnings. We're getting big cards now. Big cards now. And it's just important for us to be aware, right? To be aware. Because maybe you wouldn't have known, right? That's why we do these. Maybe you would have been like, I feel like I'm right. So it doesn't matter if you're right, if you're angry. Because you being right can still destroy everything you want. The goal here is not to try to be right. Try to have peace. Try to have understanding instead of being right. It's not a competition. It feels like a competition, but it's not. If you know what's right, sometimes it's for you to keep here. Sometimes it's about learning how to slow down, process, and how can I package this in a way that's not going to blow up everything. All right? It's not worth it in the long run. All right, Neptune. We got Neptune in regards to the Hanged One. Okay. So this could be another big one. You got the Hanged. Sorry this one's so long, y'all. I know they're not usually this long, but this is some heavy stuff coming down the pipes, right? And this Hanged One is telling us that in regards to our families and issues with family, stay out of it if you can. And if you can't stay out of it, keep your vibration high. Because the sweeping emotions that are about to hit these families are massive. And it's telling you to be the hanged man, to go into the observer, to go into your inner, another inner chamber where you can look at everything without responding. If there's a huge war in the family right now, it's saying sit this one out. Don't participate. No longer participate. If you know that the medicine that you and your sister make together always brings toxicity, don't participate. Pull back. This is the season for you to go into your stay in your own bubble. Right? This is Neptune. Neptune is not accessible. Do not be accessible to family and friends if you don't have to be. All right? That might mean turning off your phone at night or pretending like your phone hung up or whatever you got to do to get out of there, just get out, right? This is interesting. This is our meditation card. And it doesn't look like much of a meditation card, you know, because it's so active. You see the guy riding on the horse, this Knight of Air. Yo. This is just saying that communication is major right now. Right? Communication's major. Processing your thoughts is major. Spreading the word about completed projects is major right now. And there's no time to wait when it comes to that. So it's interesting, right? So for budding projects that you're working on, we got the advice to kind of step back, talk to a mentor about it, talk to let it breathe, surrender a little bit, see what it wants to do. Whereas as far as overall meditation and goal is to move in a way that is pushing things that are complete, like heavy. Like I should be dropping TikToks like that. I should be, I should be doing posts. I should be like, this is the time of get it out there if it's finished, right? And so let me wrap this thing up by saying there's going to be some hard work coming up for us this season as we move into Taurus. We're going to be doing a little bit of heavy lifting, it looks like, with the 7 of Earth. Because if you notice, this card here, the 7 of Earth, is showing hands dirty. I think of hands getting in the soil, So, yeah, there's more work to do, right? Saturn and Taurus. Saturn is very much like process oriented, and Taurus is all about touching something, right? We're going to be kind of tending to something, kind of watching it as it grows, but tending the soil around it as it does its thing. So just get ready. There's going to be some work ahead. This is crazy, right? Look at the overall card. The Devil. All right. So this card is talking Capricorn energy is big, right? We're being taught how can we overcome our obstacles? How can we be above? How can we be the head and not the tail? The Capricorn energy always likes to be on top. This card also warns us about addictive behavior. So if you're addicted to something, fasting is going to be nice maybe for a couple days. But paying real close attention to addictive behavior. Places you feel trapped. It's also a card telling us that we shouldn't always play by the rules, right? Sometimes you gotta find the back door. So keep your mind open for if the back door emerges, and don't be so caught up in doing something in the traditional way when the back door is readily available. All right? Whew. This is Montague. I know this was a long one. I'm going to sign off now. We'll talk mid-spring.